You'll just give like few minutes to record. Okay, good. All right. So trained in a couple of places. I've worked as a data analyst with Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company. Started my uh, career with Airtel. Then I worked, with Legend Internet. I work in a real estate company. I've done some consultancy jobs for a few organizations. Zenith Bank, trained some staff of or rather I've done some consultancy jobs with Action Aid Nigeria. That's if you're into NGO, right? You should know Action Aid. Then a couple of other organizations. Okay, Nigerian breweries. So this was Nigerian breweries. I was anchoring a training. This is in Kaduna State. So there is a program Kaduna State government uh, was or is pushing in line with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and then that's one of the trainings that I was anchoring, and this was Nigerian Civil Aviation Agency. So a couple of trainings actually, but of course, just a highlight to see who you're actually liaising or relating with. All right. So that being said, and also, I always like to do this so that we can all create a community. All right. So if you go to LinkedIn, so this, sorry, this is me on LinkedIn, right? I would love for us to also connect. So this is me on LinkedIn. So if you send a connect request, I'll connect with you, and then we can have you know communications from there. Professional communications. Going upward. Then, of course, on LinkedIn, there are a couple of things. LinkedIn is a place where you show your should I say your proficiencies. Now, I don't want to say show yourself per se because it depends on what exactly you're showing. So show your proficiencies. Now, the reason I'm saying that is you have people just coming to post their pictures and all of that. LinkedIn is not a place for posting pictures just randomly, but is a place where you show some of the things that you have done, right? I know there are a couple of posts that I've made. So let me see. I don't know if I'll see all of them here, but yeah, is a little different. This is the desktop app, right? Okay. Um, okay, so show all posts. So you can see apart from that, I just concluded the data analytics training session, where I took so this is also a post of mine. I was actually working on a project. I just wanted to showcase some of the things that I've learned. So it's a quick video recording I did on how to connect your SQL server to Postgres. Just some post. So, but basically, it's a place where you need to showcase some of the things that you have done. I'm also trying to look for like very projects that I've worked on before now. I think it's like way below. Uh yeah. Okay, I'm sure there are a couple of them, maybe. Well, if you go to LinkedIn, right, and yeah, as time goes on, you're going to probably at some point or the other, I'm going to make a post and then we can connect and all of that. So these are like, students that I've taught before, referencing me as the instructor and all of that These are some organizations that I've worked with too, like Kairos Labs is in Texas, United States. I currently train for them as well. So uh, it's just a place where we can connect together and then you share your experiences. Now, it's particularly important for you as a data analyst, especially if you're someone that wants to put yourself out there and you want recruiters to, look for you or see some of the things that you have done. Then I would really suggest that you take your LinkedIn space very serious. All right, so let's start. and I'm going to be alternating my screen between the slides and the applications. So you will have an overview of what data analysis is and also how to apply it in your day-to-day lives and the importance of what it can do for you. And if you take this course as a data analyst, all right. So personally, this is from my experience. I say that first of all, organizations. So let me get my pen. I always like to, I'm a very visual person when it comes to trainings or learning. So um, I'm going to be doing illustrations a lot, right? So organizations makes faster decisions, you know, in our world today, not necessarily because they could not have made it then, but the means to aid some of this decision making was not available as it is right now today. Now, what's the consequence of this? Speed. Now, speed is one thing that in our world today, we can see that everything happens almost in the snap of a finger. So if you give me data today versus 4 years ago or 5 years ago when I was working at Kaduna Electricity, where there was no influx of AI as we have it today, I remember then we would spend like 1 week cleaning data. Trust me, like would spend like 1 week because the customer base I handled was like uh we had over 5 million customers, right? Because if you know distribution companies, right, like Kaduna Electricity, for instance, they covered about 5 states as at that time. So there were over 5 million customers. And imagine processing data of, I'm talking about 20 to 30 million rows. You can imagine when you want to clean such data sets. My team and I, sometimes we used to spend like 1 week. I wasn't, of course, I had a team lead then. So the tasks would be distributed evenly across every member of the team. Now, those processes, fast forward to today, if you have to execute some of those processes, it's probably going to take you maybe another 2 days to finish up because of the introduction of tools like the AI or AI enabled tools or systems, and maybe better advancement in technologies or newer technologies. Now, but there is something that is very crucial for us as data analysts, which is accuracy. All right. Okay, just to confirm that you can all hear me, please. Can I just get like a thumbs up or, someone just tell me I can hear you or something? Okay, great, great, great. Thank you so much. All right, so speed without accuracy can be very dangerous because picture this, you have two runners. So this is runner A, right? This is runner B, and both of you are on a line and you're supposed to run in this direction, right? Now, let's say we have a third runner, okay? Now, imagine that the whistle goes off, and then this guy decides that, okay, I want to run in this direction. And mind you, from the three runners, 1, 2, 3, he runs faster than all of them. So if he goes in the opposite direction and these other ones are going in the forward direction, even though he has speed, it still doesn't make his results accurate. So that is what I'm trying to paint. It's not about the speed with which you analyze things or make decisions as a business or maybe as individuals, but the accuracy of the data basically, right? So as data analyst, right, what is your responsibility? Now, you're actually entrusted with the responsibility of turning raw data into meaningful and actionable insights. That's because for every time data is given to you, it's just like you're building a house. You have a bag of cement, you have sand, you have water, and you have maybe granite and the rest of them. Now, what they want to see is a building, but they have given you the materials. Now, your responsibility as a data analyst is to know the right mixture, the how do they call it, molten to mortar, or what? How do they call that? Mortar to whatever ratio, So the ratio of the mixture, the right tools to use for what, for the areas where you need to have slabs, you put the slabs. The areas where you need to put the iron rods, you put the iron rods and the rest of them. So by the time you combine all of these things, then you have a proper building. Now that is what the stakeholders are particularly interested. Now the other person now who talked about the fact that he's into logistics. So your boss may sometimes, if you come for, I don't know if you guys do like MPRs, right? Or monthly performance review meetings or something like that, or maybe weekly updates. Sometimes they are not really interested in the very minute details. Oh, um, we have like 50 vessels or 50 bikes that have been moving up and down. No, sometimes they just want to see at an overview. So want to know, okay, in the month of March, in the month of September, excuse me, in the month of April, what was the total, or what was our customer retention rate like? What was the total sales we made? What was the total revenue that was generated? What was the total profit that was, gotten? So this kind of thing, that is what you are entrusted with as a data analyst, right? So there are a couple of things that I've observed in my years as a data analyst, and I have made that observation in this summary, that success in data analysis equals to tools plus the process. So while it's important that you know how to use Excel, Power BI, Tableau, and all the other tools, Python and the rest of them, what stands out the most is your understanding of the processes involved in data analysis, the architecture, the framework, and also integrating these tools into these processes to bring out analytical results. Now, a lot of data analysts, they have okay, so this is how it is. There's a category that has technical knowledge. They know how to use Excel, they know how to use Power BI, but they don't know how to actually analyze data. Then there is another set that they know how to actually analyze. So there are some, especially for our senior colleagues, they will tell you, even though yes, you've gone to design, build all the dashboards and everything, but when they look at it, they will ask you a question, and then you as a data analyst, you'll now be wondering, I didn't see this. Now that's because they have mastered the art of analyzing data. But for you as a data analyst, what is expected? What's expected of you is to master both the tool as well as the process involved in data analysis. All right. So this core realization made me know that as a data analyst, your success is built on two pillars. Number one, which is the mastery of analytical tools and architecture. So now I brought this forward first because this is what everybody wants to see. So everybody wants to see great dashboards and all of that, and they want to see fine Power BI reports, and then they just want to see colors flying up and down and all of that. Yeah, it's great, I mean, but that's not the only thing. So analytical tools and architectures refer to software applications and platforms, data systems, and structural designs that we use to store, collect, process, analyze, and visualize data. So examples are tools like Excel, SQL, Python, Power BI, Tableau, R. We have Google Data Studio, which is also called Looker. Then there are others, Click, and the rest of them. All right. So while the architectures now refer to underlying infrastructure. So you need to understand databases. You need to understand things like data warehouses. You need to know data lakes. You need to know ETL processes. You need to know ELT processes, because I mean, it's not just ETL we have alone. You need to know cloud structures and applications. You need to know APIs as well, right? Then you need to know how to integrate all of these things in your work as a data analyst. All right. Now, what matters, or why mastery matters? Why does it matter that you master these things? Now, it is because knowing which tool or platform to use, for a specific business challenge is going to help you um, apply such knowledge whenever you see data. Now, the reason is because imagine you have, let's say, a little bug, right? So, let me just, represent a little bug here, right? So you have a little bug, and then you are actually living in a glass house. Okay. So you have a little bug in a glass house. If you are supposed to kill this bug, you have a hammer, you have a sledgehammer here. You also have let's say you have a rubber slippers, right? So you have a rubber slippers, you have a sledgehammer. Now, which of these tools are you going to use to kill the bug in a glass house? Or which should you use basically? Anybody?
Better
Oh,
to
the
use
be better.
Oh, of course,
Come on there.
obviously.
You have to pour all the glass, everything.
Exactly.
Mm.
Okay, so now, you know, if I come in and I have a slippers and a sledgehammer, you know what I'll do? I would rather request for an insecticide. Okay, so now
Yeah.
I I just brought these two options for you because I wanted to juggle your mind a little. A lot of us will go for slippers, right? A lot of us will go for slippers because we think that okay, we know that with slippers, glasses may not break easily. But of course, this before you use these slippers, there are a lot of things you have to consider. One, what kind of glass are you looking at? Is it a glass that's what is the, I don't know what they call them. Is it the strength basically of the glass, right? How is it able to accommodate or hold the impact of this kind of tool? But someone who uses an insecticide and just sprays the place and goes out and comes back, and imagine that you that is using a slippers, you are running everywhere up and down, trying to kill a bug. Then this is even more disastrous using a sledgehammer. So there are a lot of things to actually consider. Sorry, just give me a second. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it was raining and I needed to just take care of some stuff. All right. So here I was saying that you who actually is using a different thing, your knowledge of now, there are a couple of things. Is either from experience, you may have tried this, you may have tried using the sleepers and you saw the consequence. So better still, you choose a tool that is less destructive. Now, why did I bring this illustration? A lot of us, once we see data, the first thing we want to do is either use Power BI, first thing we want to do is use Excel. So you can imagine if you're you're given a project where they just want something simple. You go and start building what's it called? You start building a database, you start, using Power Automate to start connecting things into, all those complexities. It is not necessary for a business that just wants something simple. As a matter of fact, depending on the business need, you can just suggest to them, you look, use Microsoft Access. If you're not ready to scale, then just use Access. So your understanding on the tools, on which tool is needed to handle a specific data is very crucial. Two, understanding how data flows, from source to analysis. Now, in the data analysis, sorry, let me just confirm. Okay, I think it's still moving. What we refer to as the data lifecycle, data moves from source to its destination. So, who has heard of the data lifecycle before? Anybody? Has anyone heard of data lifecycle before? Hello, guys. Anyone? Can you still hear me? All right, good. Okay, so data lifecycle, right? It's actually an activity, or should I say, it's a process that captures.
Hello, I think your screen is frozen, so you can't hear anything again, and we are not seeing anything again. I mean, from my side, I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, sorry, I was saying that I got knocked off. Sorry. It's raining heavily here, so I guess the rain affected my internet. Okay, so yeah. All right, so let me continue now. Now, what I'm saying is, I was talking about understanding the data life cycle, right? So this is exactly what I'm saying. That once you understand the data life cycle, it gives you an understanding of how data flows basically when you work with data systems. So, how you use data, how you bring it in from the source, different sources of data, and then also, so I was asking that has anyone heard about the term the data life cycle? Okay, if no one has heard, can you all
Yeah,
men?
basically,
Okay, okay, all right. So give me an idea of what you think the data life cycle is about.
yeah, basically, just like we have life cycle of a product. So we could assume that data is also a product, where the life cycle of a product starts from from when it is manufactured, right,
Mm,
through to distribution and down to when it gets to the final consumer. So we could say too that the life cycle of data analysis starts from when data is gotten from various sources to the
yeah,
point where it is analyzed, and then
yeah.
where it begins to give insights or answers a particular question, so to say.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you for that response. Okay, very on
I also
point.
want to try small.
All right, great. Go on.
Okay, so okay, honestly, I've been in the field, not officially, but I know that data cycle it should start from the collection. We clean the
Yeah.
data, we
Yes.
analyze, and we have insight out of it. So a part of that will be maybe predicting, and that's
Yeah.
what I think. Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. So great job because by the time you ingest, so that part, right, where you get the data is the ingestion of the data. And then once the data is ingested, then there is a transformation, right? Because when you transform the data, what exactly do? You convert it into a form that is usable, right? Then when you transform the data, sometimes there is the modeling, right? So sometimes you can join these two of them, transformation and modeling of the data. And then there is the part where you have to deal with the storage architecture because you have to ensure that your data is stored properly, right? So you can what's the word now, so that for every time that you need it, you know that it is in a source that has been properly formatted, and properly audited, right? And then there is the part where you actually analyze the data, and then once you analyze your data and then you're done with analysis and you visualize. So analysis, there is also visualization, where you visualize your data and reports, right? So you report at this level to stakeholders, to your bosses, and all of that, right? After that, then you can archive the data. Now, so archival process involves some well, this is more of data management because you need to create frameworks that can allow you archive that data such that for every time you need to retrieve it, retrieval is easier, you know whether it's the first time or subsequently. And then more often, if you don't need it anymore, you can destroy the data. But I don't think a lot of people destroy data. All right, so basically, that's this part. And then using features efficiently to save time and improve accuracy. So let now I'm going to after this part, I'm just going to do a quick demonstration for us. So troubleshooting issues without external help. So you don't need to dwell so much on one person, because you do not know how to utilize data tools and processes, right? Now, without mastery, these are some of the things you risk doing, or sorry, let me erase this. These are some of the things that can happen to you. All right, and you can use the wrong tool for the wrong task. Remember our illustration, right, where you're using a sledgehammer to kill a bug. Then you can try to analyze millions of rows in Excel instead of SQL. This one is the other way around, so you're trying to use a sledgehammer to kill a snake. you know you can't, or should I say a normal hammer. Now you want to use it to kill a snake. knowing how dangerous or how close it is, so now, why am I using this illustration? So we can picture it in our mind. Imagine, what's this? Sorry. Okay. So imagine you need to analyze a data of 10 million rows or 5 million rows, and you want to use Excel. For heaven's sake, you can't just use Excel like that. If you want to use Excel, you need to use the power part of Excel, which is like Power Pivot, right? Now, that is it. Spending hours doing what could be automated in minutes, producing results that are not scalable, reproducible, or reliable, and all of that. Now, so those are some of the things. Now, there are some components of analytical tools and architecture. The first things that you need to know is sorry, yeah, the purpose. So what is the purpose for data collection and ingestion tools? Because you need to know the different areas, right? First of all, there is the collection of data. What's the purpose? Because you need to gather data from different sources. Examples of data sources include APIs, uh, you know, web applications, surveys, Internet of Things. You can get data from all of these things. Now, the tools you can use tools like, so this is a framework in Python. It's called Beautiful Soup. You have Selenium as well in Python. Then survey tools, you can use tools like Google Form, you can use Typeform, you can use Microsoft Form. Then you have some ETL tools. ETL stands for extraction, transformation, and loading. Tools like Talent, Apache NetFi, Power Query Editor, and the rest of them. Now, for data storage and management, you need to know. Now, the purpose of knowing data storage and management tools is to be able to store and organize data efficiently. Okay. Um, Hello. Can we? Okay. So can we actually turn off our videos if? Yeah. Okay. So data. To store and organize data tools for efficient access, right? Then examples of some of these data storage and management tools are Microsoft MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, Postgres SQL. Now, these are called relational databases. Okay, so RDBMS. Now, relational database management systems. Sorry, what? Yeah, RDBMS. That's relational database management systems. Okay, you also have NoSQL. Now, this relational database management system actually handles relational data. So you see data that is stored in rows and tables and all of that. Then you have NoSQL databases. Now, these particular databases hold non-relational data, meaning all those your text files, your video files, audio files, and the rest of them. Then we have the softwares itself. You have data warehouses like the Snowflakes, uh, Google BigQuery, Redshift, Amazon, right? Amazon Redshift, actually. So, um, these are data warehousing tools. From what you know conventionally is database. Then, as you go on in your analytics journey, data warehouses, data lakes, you know some larger data architectures, right?
Okay.
Freddie, would you mute your mic, please?
That won't like you feel. Like you feel.
All right. Okay, good. So you also have data lakes, right? So these are examples. Now, I'm gonna stop here, right? Because I want to show you guys like practicality. Okay. We're supposed to have just an hour, roughly 30 minutes, so that we don't overshoot the time. Now, there are some data processing tools, data processing and transformation tools. You have things like Python, you have R, you have SQL, you have ETL pipelines. So you can use Google Sheets, you can use pandas in Python, you can use this particular framework for R, and then some CTs and some joins in SQL. And then for data analysis and modeling, you can actually still use Power BI and Python. You can use Excel as well, right, for data analysis. Then for data visualization, you can use Power BI, Looker, Google Data Studio, Click, Matplotlib, Seaborn. You can also use I think then there's one framework in Python, I think Turtle also, right? So skills that are required for mastery in data analysis. So you need to know these things. One, database management. You need to know this, very crucial. You need to know data cleaning. You need to know data modeling. You need to know some automations at least. You need to know how to visualize your data and also integrate all of these things. All right. Now, that being said, we're just going to quickly go into visualizing our data. All right. Or rather, not just visualizing data now, but actually, I'm going to show you an example of, some of these things, right? And then I'm going to come back here and conclude on the class. Now, uh, yeah. So basically, right, as a data analyst, your data, you don't work with only one table. Your data should be stored in, or usually some of the time, depending on the kind of organization, your data may be stored in a database. So I'm just going to open a particular database that I have right now, right? It's called SQL Server Management Studio, right? So it's a database that I'm going to use for to illustrate, how you can carry out data analysis. Now, of course, I'm going to also switch between architecture, so it's not like I'm just focused on only SQL Management Studio, right? Yeah, so that's what we're going to do in tonight's class as quickly as possible. We have less than a few minutes to go. Okay, so usually when you work with data, like I said, data comes with you don't work with data in isolation. So you work with data a lot of the times, especially when you're working with relational data, maybe when you're building your career in analytics, you work a lot with relational data, meaning you work with data that are in tables that are connected to each other via rows and columns, right? So basically relational data. Now, through the data analytics process, so let me quickly reference this to you, right? In this process, the data, what does data analytics entail, right? Data collection. So I can decide to collect data from different sources, prepare the data, model, explore, visualize, and then also report, right? So imagine that I need to carry out all of these things in less than 15 minutes. Okay, so let me just quickly carry out an illustration for you. Now, first of all, I want to show you this collection. Now, data can be collected from different sources, one of which is a database. Right now, I'm in a database, and this is Contoso database, right? And I'm going to expand it. So Contoso is a fictional company from Microsoft, and they built this particular database so that they can simulate data analysis. Now, and it contains about 32 tables. So let me just run a query, and get all the tables within this particular database. Okay. Just give me a second. Let me adjust my screen. All right. So I need to I need to, okay. All right, here. So what do I need to do now? First things first, whenever you're giving data, it's very important you study your data. Usually, we always recommend you have a schema for your data. All right. So, uh, okay. Let me use AdventureWorks and see if I can do that here. So I'm going to show you what a schema looks like. So if I have this, can you guys see what I'm doing? Please confirm that you can see what I'm doing.
Yeah, we can see.
All right, good. A lot of them. So let me the sales order details. So this is just I don't want to keep adding because I mean this is quite large. Now I want to show you a sample of, meanwhile let me open this. Maybe this one will have a better view for it. Now we have, you can see these tables. These are tables, right? All these things you can see here are all tables, right? And basically it shows us the relationship that exists between each particular table. There are lots of tables actually in this database, right? So if you look at it, you see that it contains lots of tables. This particular one contains like can you see? There are lots of them, lots and lots of them. Now, but if I bring everything to say I'm trying to build a relationship diagram here, it might take a long time and all of that. But basically what I'm trying to say is before you begin your data analytics journey or process, you have to always ensure that you have a schema that gives you a visual representation of the relationships that exist, the data types, that gives you a visual representation of the constraints and also all the database objects. Now, once you're able to do that, it helps you. You mean it's better. You know that okay, person's table, for instance, is connecting to customer sales table. Now, customer ID here is a primary key here. And then there is also another key here, or there is something else that is helping this connect to this. So there is a business, let's see, there's a business entity ID here. Most likely will be the sales, this person ID here, right? So we also, okay, uh, yeah. And then here is going to be the business entity ID as well. All right. So we also have the email entity ID here, connecting to, we have something here connecting to here. So we have the business entity ID here, connecting also to this. I think this is more granular. This is even like a snowflake schema. So let me show you this one. It's still opening. Once it's open, you see it. But basically, you would have a visual representation of your data architecture. All right. Now, so in this particular table which I want to work with, I want to work with the contour data. So imagine I have a lot of these tables, and basically what do I want to see? I just want to see maybe data from a particular table, or I'm interested in getting data from just a few tables. So let me say I select data from, I want to select from the fact sales, right? So if I execute this, it gives me all the information that I need. All right. Now, imagine I have this data, right? Number one, I have, let's say, this gives me all the information about sales, right? Then I also have information about products, right? So I'll select information. So basically, if I have the product table, uh, I have the products key here, right? If I come to the fact table, I have a product key. So um, let me select information from the product table, and it's going to give me information about the kind of products that we have. Now imagine I want to execute a query that gives me, so let's look for particular products, or okay, good, this is very good. So we have brand names here, right? So in our business, they only want to see the products that are sold by this brand, Contoso. So how do we do that? But they want to see the sales for those products. So what that means is we need to combine both of these tables, for instance, because that way I have data. So what do I do? First of all, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to select. Now I'll need to specify the things that I want to select basically. So things like the sales key, for instance, I want to select the sales key. I want to select the dates key. So the dates key is going to give me my dates dimension. I want to select like the so channel key. I want to select the store key. What else? Then for the products key, I'm not going to select the product key because I want the product name. All right. So I'm going to select the, let's say the unit cost, right? I want to select the unit price. Mind you, I'm not getting everything from this particular database because imagine it contains like over 30 million rows, all the tables put together. So can you mute your mic? Except you're asking a question. If you're not asking a question, please just help me mute your mic. All right. Quantity. Don't select the return amount, return quantity and return amount. Then discount. Don't worry. You will achieve something at the end of this. So discount amount, then the total sales, right? Sales amount. Now, these are the things that I want to select, but I also want to select the products. All right. So I want to select the products as well. but so I want to select the product name. So I want to select the product name as well as where the brand name, or let's use manufacturer. So where the brand manufacturer is just Contoso Limited. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it here as well. Let's say product name, right? So product name, right? Now this is the product name. I also want to select the manufacturer. Okay. So the manufacturer, right? So this is coming from the product table. This is coming from the product table, while every other thing is coming from the fact table. All right, fact sales table. Now, if I have this, hold on, let me reduce this. If I have all this information, what do I need to do? I'm selecting this from my fact sales, right? So, and then I also want to join. So join, what am I joining? The dimension product, right? Already I could call it P, right? On, I could say, so what connects the fact sales and the product, right? So that's the question we need to ask, right? Let's see. This is so unit cost. Let me see. Units, is it unit cost? There's unit cost. So quantity times price. Maybe I'll take away this. Yeah. I need the quantity and I need the price. So I'm gonna get so unit price with a capital P. All right. This is unit price. Spell it properly. Unit price. Yeah. All right. Okay. So this on, um, I'll say on, now my fact sales. So my fact sales is fact sales. So let me just call this F, right? So I'll just say F. So on F, so I'll say on F dot so F dot the product key, because it is equal to, I'll say P dot product key. All right. Sorry, not description. Key. All right. Now if I do that, and I run this, so it says this unit price. I'm not sure why it's not picking that unit price yet, but let me see. So this is it. So stop this execution. This is unit price. All right. I think I got it correctly now. Units, U in capital, NIT price. Okay. So what I'm going to do is this is F, and I'm going to give all of them an alias of F. All right. So F dots. So this is F dots. This is F dots. This is F dots. F dots. F dots. Now join. If I say maybe I'm now gonna say so let's see, if I'm gonna use the where clause, now I could say where the manufacturer, right, is equal to we're looking at just Contoso Limited, right? So these guys, Contoso Limited, right? Yeah. So if I execute this, so this should give me the result for the people just Contoso Limited. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a table, right? There are a couple of resources that you can use, right, to help you, in all of these things. So once we get from SQL, I'll show you how to connect this into Excel, and then how you can also, carry out some one or two things, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my Microsoft Excel. I hope we're still together and we've not gotten bored and
Yeah,
tired.
we are. Yeah, we are. We are.
Okay, okay. So the reason why I'm showing you this is so you can understand usually some of the things you do as a data analyst, right? Because it's not just before you build the dashboards, you have to do stuff. You have to be able to carry out projects, underlying tasks. Now, so you see, it has brought up only the manufacturers that are Contoso alongside the product name. So what I did was I joined the product table and the fact table together. So you see it's quite large, so it's still executing. That's why this query, is still running. So once I'm done, I'm opening Excel, and once I'm opening Excel, all right, good. So I have opened Excel, right? What exactly am I supposed to do right now on Excel? Excel is supposed to help me, um, you know, I am done from getting data, or rather I am at the source right now trying to prepare the data so that I can get it from that source. My source is that's Microsoft SQL Server. So I want to get the data from that source, and then I'm going to get into Excel where I can probably visualize or analyze this. So this is about 954,800 and 389 rows, right? So you see it's quite a lot. Now usually there are some tools or some sites where you can get information from. So I always encourage you go online. So there is a particular one that I know that you can. This is the site. So SQL Server tutorial. Now this particular site is particularly useful for those people who want to learn SQL Server. The syntax sort of differs from other SQL. I know a lot of things I'm saying will not make sense to a lot of people, but what I'm trying to say is that there are different relational database management systems, and sometimes the syntax, that is the way they write their queries, differs from one from the other. So for this one, you can learn and see all the things that you need to. So we want to use something, right? So we want to use this statement, select into, meaning, so what does it do? It creates a new table, right? And insert rows. So how does it do that? Or where is the syntax in this case? So you see, select all this into a destination from the source. Now where? So for us now, we have already used our select and we've listed all the things we want to do. The only thing that's just left is to say into destination. So what we want to do is we're going to create a new table. So we've selected all these things. We can say into. So we want to create a new table. Let's call this analysis, right? Analysis underscore data. Analysis data, right? So if I execute this query, you see it's not going to appear like this where it's outputting a lot of things. So it's just going to tell me whether it's complete or not, because I'm creating a new table called analysis data and I'm imputing the results of this particular query into it. All right. So you can see here. Now, if I come back to my sets of tables here, and I do like I refresh basically. So let me refresh. Um, so let me see here. Da, 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 da. Where is it? Here. Of course, it's not a view. It's actually a table. So let me see if it stored it in the system tables, file tables, external tables. So anyway, so let me see. Um, so if I select all from analysis data, offset 0 rows. So only. I don't want to execute all of them. Like I don't want to get
Can't
that.
hear
I just
anything
want.
anymore.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to type something. Can you still hear me?
Yes, you can.
Okay, okay, good. So what we used was let me see. So this query. Now it says if you wanna let's read something here. The following data creates a destination table and copies the rows. So it has created that destination table, and then so yeah, new we can also use that to create a new database. Don't worry about all of this. All right, so this is done. I'm not just sure why I'm not seeing this here right now, but let me see. Let me refresh one more time again. Analysis data. Okay, okay, so see it's here, right? This is it. Now, what do I want to do? I'll head over to Excel, right? And I'll say I'm going to connect to my database, right? So I'll just get data from a database, a Microsoft SQL Server. I'll come over to this. I'm going to take the server name, which is this is my server name. So Control C to copy. Uh, let it try to connect. And so what am I doing right now? Currently, I'm going to take it into what we call Power Query Editor. Well, I'll just do one or two stuff. Now, what's the name of my database? Contoso DB, which is the same thing as what I have right here. All right. So I'm connecting into this database, meaning I want to fetch data from this database, right? So if I select that, it's going to list all the tables that are present within my database. But now the only table that I'm interested in taking is that particular one, right? So I'm just going to expand this and it's still trying to load, right? All right, so this is what I want. I'll just pick that and I'll say transform. Now, good. So what I've just done is I've gotten to this stage, right? Data preparation. So I was at collection. Now, but before collection, you saw that I did some one or two modifications, right? Which is still like preparation, but because this process is not like a straight line. It is more of like a circular process where you go forward, you go back, you go forward, you go back, right? So now I come here and I want to do a couple of things. First of all, I see this. I have a date key. Now, what I can do is to change this from a date time, because this is like a timestamp. So I'm just going to change this from a date time to date. So what I'm doing right now is called transformation. All right. I have the product name, the manufacturer, the store key, unit price, sales quantity, and all of this, discount amount, sales, total sales, right? Now, what I can do here is I really don't have lots of transformation to do, right? So, but imagine I want to take out, let's say I want to remove this comma and replace it with like a full stop. So what I need to do here is just, come here and say, what is it? Replace values. I say I'm replacing the comma with a full stop. So replace the comma, with a full stop, right? So there are no lots of cleaning I need to do here. Okay, so yeah, let's say, okay, so let me just keep it brief as well. So I'm done from here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to load to. So this is where I am, right? I'm going to this place where I want to model the data. Now, here in modeling the data, I'm going to create what we call a data model. All right. Now, in my Excel, I am not loading into Excel spreadsheet because it's going to occupy all these sheets up until 900 and something, almost 1 million, which will make my Excel slow. So I'll just choose add to data model, only create connection, and I click OK. So it's going to take me into a part of Excel that, is built or was made available to accommodate large data sets beyond conventional spreadsheet, like conventional your worksheet in Excel. So it can accommodate large data set, millions of rows, right? So that is what we refer to as Power Pivot or data model in Excel. So it's trying to load, right? And you can see here. So it's trying to load this data. And mind you, you can get, if we start the class, I'll show you how to get the data and all of that. So you get it from Microsoft. Just go online and type console, so data set, and you get it. So how do I want to see the data within my data model? Because I can't see the data right here. So I'll just go to Power Pivot and click on Manage. Now, once I click on Manage, it's going to take me to what we refer to as or rather what we call Power Pivot, right? So this is Power Pivot. But in Power Pivot, I also have like a diagram view that allows me create my model, right? So I can model data here. But let me come here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a date dimension, even though there was a date dimension table there, but I'm going to create it here so that I can model the data, so in Power Pivot right here, basically. So it's created a date dimension for me. I'm gonna, so just hold on. Still trying to. So whilst now, so see what it gives me. It gives me the year, which is okay. Gives me the month. It gives me months. That's months. Then it gives me day of the week, but it doesn't give me quarter. So let's say I want to add quarter, right? How do I go about it here? Because I also I would like to analyze my data by quarter. Okay, so quarter. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come here and say, so I'm going to come here and say that if I'll use my if function. Now in Power Pivot, you don't use normal Excel formulas. You use what we refer to as DAX, that's data analytics expressions. So if the month number is less than equal to January, February, March 3, then it is Q1, right? Again, if month number again is less than equal to 6, then I could call it Q2, right? If the Q2, so again, if the month number, right, is less than or equal to, so 369, right? I could call it Q3. How many quarters do we have in a year? Not fiscal year, because some companies have different, 4 quarters actually, but sometimes the months begin at different interval based on the organizational structure. So I'll say Q3. Otherwise, I want it to be Q4, right? So Q4. So 1, 2, 3, and action. So I'm going to do that, and let's see what it returns for me. We're also going to test this to see that it works. So anything from let's say January, February, March. January, February, March is Q1, which is okay. Uh, I'll check everything, and I want April. So April, May, and June is Q2. So Q2, we have actually it's correct. I mean, but just for us to see everything. So let's look at December, November, October. It's Q4, right? So you can see we've done the quarter. So one more thing. What we can do is we can sort this. So I have month. Now this is the MMMM. I don't want it full. I just want MMM, meaning I want it to be in 3 abbreviations, right? So instead of January in full, it's just gonna say Jan, right? Yeah. So of course for better visualization. So I'm just going to say that I want to mark, of course. Okay, so it's marked as my date table already. Now if I come to my home tab and I come here and I say that I want to sort this particular column by this month number, so sort the column month by the month number. And why am I doing that? So that when it's 1, because if not, it will start, if I sort, when I have a visualization, if I sort alphabetically, it will start from A, which is April. Now, once that is done, I'm going to come here and I'll connect this particular date to the date key here. All right, so this is what we refer to as modeling. I've created a data model, very simple one. Then next, I'm going to this, so which is I'm going to this part. So for this reporting and exploration. So before I go into visualization, I'll just come here. I'm going to create what we refer to as measures. All right, just for, well, let me just do it in a standard way. Okay, though I'm pressed with time. All right, so I'll come to my data tab. I'm going to come here. Now, what am I doing? I want to create a calculation table, a table that will house most of the calculations that I'm going to be making. All right, so I'll say from source and I'll create a blank query. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you would not have used all these parts in Excel, but it's very real, and as data analysis these days now is beyond some and the rest of them. Okay, so but if you have used it, then I mean, then it means that you're actually on track, in analysis today. So I'll call this calculations, and I'll just close and load to the same process. I'm going to add it to my data model. So it's still trying to load, right? So it's trying to think. Let's just close this. Yeah, so add this to data model, only create connection and click OK, right? Once that is done, I'm going to go back to my data model. So Power Pivot, let's add this, manage. So I'll manage my data model. And then here I have a table called calculations. So what's my first calculation? What I want to calculate first. So this is quite different from, like I said, here you're not using your normal Excel functions, but you're using what we call data analysis expressions. So here I'm going to calculate total sales. So what's total sales? It's going to be the sum of all the, let me say, sales. So this is sales amount. Yeah, that's what I want. Now, just format that currency. Next, let's say total discount or total. Hold on, let me check out the columns that are present there. We have the, okay, so we have the return amount, we have the discount amount. So I'm going to calculate total discount, total returns quantity. Discount, right? Discount, yeah. So yeah, so I'll just say now all these things are called KPIs, okay? I know it's just too many information. So sum of discounts. So let me say discounts, amounts, and then now these KPIs are meant to have been defined before analysis. All right. So always ensure that you have your KPI handy, and well, it's dollars I'm using actually. So yeah, always ensure you have your KPIs handy because it's going to guide you on what to actually analyze and what the stakeholders are actually looking for. So I'll call this total return, or let's just say returns total, URNS, total, let's say amount is equal to sum, and return sum, return, so return amount. So I'm just going to stop here, right, for time's sake, because I actually have another engagement. So I'm going to say this, and I'm formatting it as dollar. Now, that being said, next thing I want to do is visualize, right? So I'm actually at this spot here, right? So I'm going to come to pivot table and say, I want to build let me use a pivot table first, okay? Now I'll just say existing worksheet, and I want it to be here. Let's use this point. All right, so I'll click OK. Now that I have my data, what do I need to do? So if I open, you see, it gives me that flexibility to analyze multiple data at the same time. so I can get my total sales, total discounts, total returns, right? So these, I can just call this my KPIs, right? Um, business KPIs or executive. Right? So yeah, because this is like what they want to see, right? Then so what I'll just do is I'll just copy this again, come here, and I'm gonna take all of, so I want to leave the total sales. I'm going to analyze, let's say by years. So here, but I don't want it to be in columns. I'd rather it is in row. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come to design. I'll come to off grand totals for rows and column. Report layout, I want it to show in a tabular form. So it's showing year and not row label, right? Now this is for the year. How about for the quarter? I can just, come here, say I want to look at it by the quarter. Okay, so if I expand this, I have the quarter. So take quarter from column to rows, it's still the same thing. Now, how about if I want to see, um, now one more thing. So this, I'll be very fast from here. So I'm going to paste this. I'm going to take out the quarter. I'm going to bring in the product. So I'll say product name, right? So this is product name. Now, what do I want to do? I'll click on this product name, Control C, Control V again to paste. So I'm going to have two products. So first of all, I want to see, so sorry, this is hanging. So hold on. Yeah, I'm going to close this for now. Now, what do I want to do here? I come here and I say I want to see only the top 10 products, right? So I want to see the top 10 most profitable products. So top 10 items, blah, blah, blah. So of course, items, top 10 total sales. So this is top 10. Now this, I want to see the bottom 10. So I want to know the products that are performing the least. So I'll change this top to bottom and bam. Now, what I'm going to do is next, I'm going to start building my visuals. So, right, still at this stage, right, reporting, but yeah, I'm building this, right? So what I'm doing now is I'll just come here and say, okay, I'm going to quickly build a dashboard. Well, a dashboard screen. So what I can do here, I'm going to come to my view tab, uncheck the grid lines. Let's use this. So I'll just fill this with, let's say black maybe. Yeah. So I'll come here, put in my shapes, say, now my shapes are all going to be white, right? Because, nothing fancy because of time, right? So no outline. Yeah, let's just, do this. So I'm going to have this first. So duplicate this shape. I'll just duplicate it to, suit my need. This, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to drag this shape across maybe and have it like this. So it just fills up this particular screen. I don't want it to be so big, right? So just this is going to come forward. So bring to the front. Since it's overlapping a white, so I'm just going to give it maybe if a different color somewhat so that I can identify it, right? So this, yeah. Now I'm going to do this. Well, yeah, let's leave this now. So what I'm going to do here, so just make it have like, the same border radius, or maybe reduce this one a little. if I wanted to have exactly the same, right? So let's uh, all right. So here I'll just duplicate this. Don't worry, guys, something is coming out. So what I'm going to do here, right? I'm going to duplicate this again, but I want to make this transparent. So I'm going to say this is going to hold my text basically. So no fill. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done the no fill here because, oh, Control Z. All right. So let me put it here and write a text so that I'm able to identify it basically. So I'll just make this text black so that I'm able to see this. So I'll come here and I'll make it no fill, right? Because it's going to hold my text basically, right? So I'll just it's a little, sorry, smaller. Uh, yeah, so I'll call this sales, let's say sales dashboard. Anything. So all these things I'm just doing are just just to show you the possibilities. So it's not like we're actually doing like the main thing. So increase this, okay, bold, and I'll give it some. So all right. So what am I going to do here? I'll just leave there. So come here. I'll come here. I'm going to, so these particular ones are going to be my, more like my KPIs. I want to see them here. Maybe, I think I should just reduce this a little. Yeah. So my KPIs, I'll just come here. I'll say is equal to, let's look at this. So I'll come here. I can centralize this, make it bold, make it big, not too big, maybe, you know, uh, bring this down, come here, or maybe central, or come here in front of it, say total, total, all right, yeah. So what I'm gonna do here, are we still together? Please let me know if you're still here.
Yeah. We are still together.
Let's stick
Okay,
together.
okay,
Yeah,
great.
we're still here. Yeah.
All right, great. So I'll just have something like a total sales here, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'll just duplicate this across board, right? Now these are my top 3 KPIs. So maybe I'll just change the shapes, right? To um square, right? Yeah, so I'll come here, say, oh, I want to see this. I'm going to use this column chart, right? So this is the column chart. There are other ways I can show you to visualize data, but I'm just rushing with time. So I'll call this total sales across years. So I'm gonna take this out. Take this out. Uh, idle. Do this. So I'll come to design, format, no fill, no outline. I'll just take it. Okay, Control X, take it here, paste, Control V, you know, put it somewhere inside. So, so let me say, let's say I move this to align with this, maybe. So I am rushing. So, so don't expect the best, okay? So please just bear with me. I'm just trying to show you possibilities of what you can do, right? So it's not like this is the most. I'll show you also a recent project of mine so you can see some things here. So this is make this bold. Okay. So we can do this. So duplicate this maybe again. So let's reduce this maybe to fit this. Can maybe reduce this, right? So I'll come here, do the same. So for this one, I can insert like insert let me say let's use a line. Okay. So I have quarter, right? So I can also have month, right? So I'll just come here and paste this. So pivot table analyze fields, changes from year. I'm going to bring in months. So I'll use months. Now yeah. So take this to rules. Okay. And control A. So I'll come here and I'm going to insert a line chart. Okay. So this, move this, move this, move this. Um, so what I'll do, I'll just say total sales or monthly trend of sales. So same thing, take away the no fill, cuts X, come here, but right. So very ugly dashboard, but so basically, right, this is how we can visualize the data. Now imagine I now say, okay, now I want to stop here because of time, of course. So I'm just going to put in one more thing, one more element. I'll use a slicer, so I can use the let's look for a particular item. Let's say we want to use the, so had it been we brought in the channel, for instance, it would have been easier, if we sliced with the channel, but let's just use something basically as a slicer. So we can slice by the year. Well, I've used all the date dimensions. Let's use I've used the date dimension, so I would have used the date possibly as a slicer, which is still okay. I can still use it, but just for, I mean, I wouldn't do that on a normal day, so I don't want to do that right now. So if I've already represented it, so I'll use another dimension as a slicer. All right, but basically, this is like, you see how we've been able to, in less than 30 minutes, maybe, gone through this entire process, right? So this is reporting. At this stage, you can now report the data, say, okay, this is it. So if someone looks at it, oh, we made this total. Oh, sorry, I've not even changed this. So in place of total sales, so be, let's say C4, maybe C3. C3 is what? C3 is total discount. D3 is return totals. So I'll just come here, do this. I'll say total discounts, and then this is D. D3 is returns total. I'll just take this, format the painting, come here. So returns total. All right. So basically, we have visualized it. We have said, okay, I want to see you can decide to put your data labels, okay? Definitely, if I'm using a data label here, I'm going to format it, right? I'm not going to leave it like this, but of course, this is just a demo. So thank you so much, right? I am actually done. I want to know if we have any questions because I can't take you through everything today. All right, but yeah, I think this is it basically. So the roadmap to mastery, you have to start small, learn data architecture basics, practice real world projects, automate repetitive tasks, stay updated, and then cross train. So this training is actually supposed to help you build um, a lot of things. There are a lot of things basically that you're gonna do. So let me close this so I can open up another thing that I was working on and show you what it looks like when you work with data in this kind of volume. So if you have any questions, you can actually just ask me right now and I'll attend to your questions. Okay.
Uh, I don't know whether if we can have a video of this your class so that we can go through it, because while you're explaining, I think we need the video so that we can practice on our own too.
No, definitely there's a recording, but this is not. I just gave you like a tip of the iceberg, so it's not like this is all there is to the class. You understand, right? There's a
Yes.
recording. I recorded the class, yeah, but the essence of this is to let you guys have an idea of what you're gonna learn when you come into, the class. Okay.
Okay.
Definitely you get the recording. All right. Yes.
Well,
Any
thank you,
other
sir.
So
question?
my question
Okay.
is, the roadmap you highlighted there, is it same for everybody? Like, I mean, people into logistics, people in the academia, like, does this roadmap actually, is it applicable for everybody, or different disciplines uh, require different roadmaps? Just a
No,
clarification.
no, no. It doesn't actually. So what's the only thing that will be different is your the business understanding. There is what we call CRIPS DM framework. The CRIPS DM framework, first thing in that framework is the business understanding. Now, the business understanding will help you understand the kind of business. Yeah, this roadmap is meant to guide you through everything. But once you have understanding of the business, you can now know the kind of specifics to apply. Do you understand?
Okay.
So now this is
Yes.
an example. Uh, this is an operational insight report. So where we have, so here you can drill down, a few months if you want to see. You can drill down the number of months that you want to visualize basically, and then you can slice the data, like I said, there is a slicer here. Let me move to the next one. So it just is reactive. It's actually very heavy. All right, so then you can see by product. This is Excel, mind you. So you can see by product, you can see by countries, you can see the bottom 10, you can see the top 10, you can see for a particular salesperson. It gives you information or insight into that particular person and the person's contribution or revenue contribution to the business. All right, you can also select by month to see the data. So basically, these are some of the things you can do on Excel. And this is just the reason I'm even showing is because this is just like one of the most recent projects I worked on. So I think I have this. Otherwise, I'll keep going into archive now to search. So, all right. So, any other question? Okay. So, in the absence of none, I want to see everyone in class, and I hope to see everyone in class. Okay. So,
Okay.
Mr. Prosper, I don't know if you have anything to add. What's the way forward? Mr. Prosper, I think you might need to step in here. So the next phase is the actual boot camp. We're gonna have the boot camp. I think the dates will be communicated to us. If you're not on the group chat, if you're not on the group chat, please just drop your number or maybe an email address or something so we pick it up and then send you a message. And then details about the bootcamp will be communicated to you if it has not been already.
Okay. Mr. Leslie, thank you very much. Sorry, I've not. I've been on and off during the class because I had some other engagements that I was on. I believe the class has been interesting for those efforts that attended, and many persons that didn't attend will just send the recorded version to the group after this night, possibly. So details of the training have already been communicated in the groups. Let me just give a quick recap about that. So we are starting next week, Tuesday, all right, 7th of October, 2025. And it's going to be a 3 months training period, okay? And the classes are going to be holding on Tuesdays and Thursdays by 7 p.m. Nigerian time. All right, so
Please, can
I
you be
believe
more
the
audible?
curriculum has also been dropped. Okay, can you hear me now? Is it better? Is it better? If it's better, you can just let me know. So 6 p.m. Ghana time, yes, exactly. 6 p.m. Ghana time and 7 p.m. Nigerian time. That's when the classes will be holding. All right, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, I'll also drop the curriculum again. I've dropped it before in the group, but I'll drop it again so you can see all the stuff that will be covered. Now, for the certification, at the end of the 3 months training, you'll be issued a certificate of completion, all right, to your email, which you can print out and then attach to your CV or so. All right. So if there are any other questions, I think you can ask in the group and I would respond to that. Okay, I think somebody is just asking a question in the chat. He said, how is it going to the payment modality? Yes, the payment, as for the payment is in 3 phases. All right, you pay monthly. For Nigeria, the fee is 50,000 naira per month, while for Ghanaians it is 600 CDs per month. All right, so you're going to be paying monthly. We made it such that it's going to be convenient for people to get started, so you don't have to pay all at once. All right, so 50,000 naira per month or 600 CDs per month, and the details of the payment is going to be dropped in the group probably tonight or tomorrow. So if there are any other questions, you can ask it in the group and I'll respond to that ASAP. So get prepared, get all the stuff you need. Definitely you need a laptop. I believe every person is already aware of that. At least a laptop of about 8 gig RAM Core i5 is sufficient for it. So laptop is compulsory. That's the only thing you need to. And then of course internet connection. So if there are no other questions, I think we can call it a night at this point. Mr. Leslie, thank you very much for the session. And you did a good job.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.